started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
Hey, daddies. Maybe that was a bit much.
It's good. No, I liked it.
Hello, LGBT community. Welcome to your favorite show, Seagulls Make Do. I'm your host, Alex. And let me pull up my fucking notes, which have gone missing. What? Okay.
Are your notes Pete?
My notes disappeared for the episode. I thought I saved them.
Don't you take your notes by hand?
I stopped. I was like, oh, this makes more sense to do it on my phone.
Well, I mean, I can like lead the episode if you want. You can remember what happened.
Okay, so then Stephanie's leading the episode, and I don't have a nickname, so I'm fucking stupid. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm Stephanie, and I just finished watching Homeward Bound 3, Pete Hates Homewreckers. We're on episode 40.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the premium content you guys have paid for, apparently.
Oh, right? I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it. It's pretty good content, I guess, because we're less than halfway through the show now, but you know we're getting pretty far now. Like we're over halfway through season 3, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm.
It's all sort of, we're like into, I feel like the best part of Sex and the City, you know? We're into the most iconic parts, and that's really, it's getting exciting, you guys.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really excited because, I mean, I'm excited, but also I'm angry. So it's like it's a mix of emotions. It's kind of bittersweet. Yeah, I love it, but then I'm also mad. And I'm mad because of Carrie, but, you know, that's just how she is.
Mm-hmm. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, I mean, Carrie is with Aiden at the start of the episode, and so she's about to spend some girls' night with the girls, and I don't know, they're kind of like playfully talking about it, and Aiden's like, what do you guys talk about, boys? And I don't know, they have I guess it's supposed to be cute scene together before she kind of leaves.
Yeah, they're like making out though. They're like all over each other, and I can't say I love it, but I guess it's to show how passionate they are.
Yeah, I don't really care for it, but I feel like I just can't possibly support them when Carrie is Little Miss Homewrecker, so it's, you know, it is what
disgusting.
It is.
Every time they're together, I feel upset for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, I know. I'm like, well, Aiden, you know what? Maybe you should just have Carrie go away, but forever instead of just for girls' night.
She leaves, and then we get our first of these horny flashbacks, which...
I really don't like the horny flashbacks. It's bad.
Oh, we see like a belly button and like kissing. Like it's all like close-ups of body parts and horny saxophone. And it's
and there's just like horny noises, like just like the and it's like I don't like that. It's bad.
And it's with like a blue filter. It's disgusting. And she's like, oh, I just can't stop thinking about my night with Big, and I feel so disgusting and horrible. I'm a bad person.
Yeah, but she remembers that she's so lucky because she has a boyfriend, and this is like, I think the first of like 5 times that she says she's really lucky she has a boyfriend who has all his hair. That's a kind of a common theme this episode. Yeah. Aiden has a lot of hair. Have you noticed that Aiden has a lot of hair?
I have noticed it, but I definitely feel like John Corbett has lost a lot of hair since this was filmed.
Probably. I probably would too if I had been on the set for this show and had to be a part of making it. But yeah, and then Carrie, it's like Carrie completely forgets about it until she has these flashbacks, and then she just makes like a dope, like a She like makes a face and does like Home Alone. Oh my god, I did that. I forgot.
Carrie's thing, she loves to smack her forehead. It's a really interesting character choice, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like it's the audience projecting onto her, like, that we want to do that, and so I don't know where it's coming from.
No. Then we go to the said party, and everyone's glammed up just to see their friends. I kind of love it. Like, when I go hang out with my friends, even as someone who likes to glam up, I'm not wearing, like, you know, little 70s disco outfits.
True. Okay, I mean, I guess they're celebrating Sam's new place.
Yeah, but it's just the four of them.
It's just the four of them, yeah, and it's a pretty small thing. And, yeah, Charlotte kind of is like, who knew you could find a place like this in the meatpacking district? Which, like, okay, so that's like where Carrie's apartment is located in real life, and so like I was in that area, and it's like Miranda makes it sound like it's all dumpsters and like trash and stuff. It's like a nice area, like it's still in Manhattan. I don't know, I thought it was pretty nice, but
I mean, everywhere in Manhattan, like, I guess, I mean, even in the 90s, New York was like pretty much like gentrified. At least Manhattan, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. I mean, Charlotte's just a snob.
I know. I mean, Charlotte loves gentrification.
She does. She loves anything where there's like a lot of white people. That's really just her bag.
Yeah. So she's ecstatic that Samantha's moved here to gentrify the neighborhood. And then, okay, Samantha starts talking about this DVD she ordered for them to watch later, and everyone's like, you ordered a DVD to your house? What?
Oh, yeah. It's basically Postmates. Like, she's like, oh, you know, you can order anything. I've ordered food. I've ordered condoms.
And they came faster than the guy she used them with. And, well, like, they talk about how they all have it so great because they all have, like, these amazing apartments. They all have great jobs. They have great friends and great sex. And Charlotte, though, is just like, well, I don't know. Having it all to me really just means having someone special to share it with. So I didn't have it all until I had Trey.
This is, you know, when your friend gets a boyfriend, or, I mean, I'm going to say boyfriend because I feel like this happens. I don't know. I've never had a friend get a girlfriend and be like, everything's perfect now. Like, but I mean, it can happen. I just feel like it predominantly happens with boyfriends where you get a boyfriend, you're like, I'm kind of better than all of you because I have a boyfriend.
Yeah. Or I just like, you know, my life wasn't complete with just my friends, and I only am completed by this man. And also, I'm just like not really gonna hang out with my friends as much anymore because I have better things to do with my boyfriend.
Hello, friends. I need to remind you all that I was not happy any of the times I was with you, and I'm now only happy because someone is fucking me. Just wanted you guys to know. Like,
oh, but whoa.
What?
Charlotte is not getting fucked. We need to remember this.
That's true. She's not getting fucked. Good for her. I feel like there's still hand stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there probably is. This doesn't really get brought up again until, like, around the wedding time, I feel like. Because we kind of forget that they're not... Like, because that was a plot a while ago where, like, they were doing, like, minor stuff, but they hadn't fucked yet. But it hasn't been mentioned that they fucked, and they have not.
But then it becomes a whole thing because he can't get his dick hard. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I love it. He just needs to look in the mirror and realize that he's Kyle MacLachlan and be like, oh shit, now I can do it. Because
it's just like American Psycho style, like looking at himself in the mirror when he's fucking her.
Yeah, what else is going to make you hard? Like, if it's not Kyle MacLachlan, then what is it?
That's a good point. Kyle Wide on MacLachlan.
Uh-huh. I love it. And he does too. And, okay, so then Charlotte kind of mentions offhand that she's really excited for everyone to meet Trey's mom, who's so great. Like, Trey's mom is great.
I've never been excited for anyone to meet someone whose mom is, like, not mine.
Yeah,
I've never been like, oh my god, you're gonna totally love, like, my friend's mother. She's super cool. Like, no, I don't care.
And we've already seen Bunny, and we know she's not cool.
She's not. She's really weird. I mean, she has a bow in her hair, and she is, like, 80.
Yeah, and she has psychic mind control powers over her son.
I mean, that's cool.
I do respect that. I do respect that she uses her psychic powers to control a man.
Yeah. Maybe not your son. Maybe pick another man. There are plenty to choose from.
Yeah, True. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you had a son and you could, like, psychic mind control them to make sure that they only make decisions you want them to in life, that could be better than the alternative of them, like, going off and making stupid decisions.
I do have a fear that, like, if I have a son, he'll be evil. Like, I'll train him to my best to be like, hey, be nice to women. And then I'll find out he's a fucking incel and I'll have to throw him in a ditch.
You should. You have to. That's the thing, is if your son is an incel, you have to be like, bye, and then you relocate in the Secret Service. Like, you get them to move you and change your name and get, like, facial reconstruction so that you don't have to be associated with them anymore.
Yeah. And I like my face, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's just unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta, the ditch is the other route, so. So everyone leaves except for Carrie, and so she hasn't told anyone about Big until now, and she decides it's just her and Samantha, so she's gonna tell Samantha. She says it's not an affair, it was just like a one-time thing, it's not gonna happen again, and, you know, don't tell the other girls, because they're gonna hate it.
Yeah, Samantha is so shitty. Like, her reaction is like, well, fuck it, men do it all the time. And I mean, that's not an excuse. There are a lot of things I will excuse because, well, men do it, but cheating isn't one of them, because there's not really much you can do to deserve being cheated on unless, I mean, you cheat first. Even then, that's just kind of a shitty thing to do. Just break up with them.
Yeah, just break up with them.
Aiden hasn't done anything.
No, like, if Aiden was, like, you know, emotionally or physically abusive to her, and she was like, there's no way for me to get out of this, so I'm gonna cheat on you with someone who, I don't know. This is just making up a situation that's, like, not even happening. Like, that could maybe be an excuse to be like, okay, I'm fine with this. But that's not happening. Aiden's, like, you know, a normal guy. And, yeah, I really do not like that Sam, she's not, like, egging her on, you know? She's not like, oh, fuck Big again, you know? I love it when you fuck Big. She doesn't say anything like that, but...
I think she can tell that Carrie's beating herself up over it, and she's just like, hey, you know, deal with it, which is kind of Samantha's, you know, approach to life of just not feeling guilty over what you've done, just coming to terms with it and moving on. I think the issue with this storyline, which unfortunately we will be stuck with for a long time. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
But the issue is, like, Aiden doesn't have really any faults. And, like, if he did, it would make it interesting. His only fault is that he's not Big, but then Big doesn't have redeeming qualities. It's like, if it had been Grey, like, say Aiden had been, like, kind of, like, he's a really kind person, but, like, maybe he's not very good in bed, or maybe he sort of has a surface, like, he's a nice guy, but he doesn't understand Carrie completely, and Big understands her. Then I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. But Big is just a shitty person. And Aiden is just really nice. And, like, neither of them... I mean, Aiden's still attractive. It's not even like Aiden's hot. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense why she would do this. Apart from Carrie is a bad person.
Oh, no, Carrie's just a garbage woman. And that makes it sound bad, because it makes it sound like if you're a garbage woman, then you're a bad person. And when you're like a hero... not someone who takes the garbage, but someone who is the garbage. So Carrie is the garbage that gets taken out by the hero garbage woman.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a garbage woman in a professional sense. I mean, I am kind of disgusting, but, like, not to Carrie's level. But
yeah, no.
But sanitation workers deserve medals.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And yeah, no, Carrie deserves to get an anti-medal. She's really bad. And then she mentions again how Aiden is so great, who has all his hair. He has all of his hair.
Like, is Big bald?
No. Big has lots of hair, too. Big has lots of hair, but he has less hair than Aiden.
Well, Aiden just has longer hair. Like, he doesn't have more hair, he has longer hair.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard to say. But Samantha is basically just like, well, he hasn't said I love you yet, which means you're a free agent still, which is also horseshit. Because, like, what is this? Like, the age of going steady and being like, until we say we're exclusive, we don't have to be exclusive. Like, pretty sure that they expect each other to be exclusive.
At this point, yeah. Like, this is a thing that gets, like, not I love you, but, like, okay, we've agreed to be exclusive now. They're definitely saying boyfriend and girlfriend, so that's exclusive.
Yeah,
in my books.
that's exclusive to me. Yeah, same. And Carrie even says, like, she doesn't want to be a free agent. She doesn't want that. And, you know, she even, like, basically says has to be something wrong with me for wanting this, because Aiden is, like, it literally makes absolutely no sense for me to want this when Aiden is giving me everything I could possibly need and loves me, and Big is, you know, like, something I found at the bottom of, you know, the toilet. So
Big crawled out of the fucking Mariana Trench. Like, he's the Cloverfield monster.
He is. He's bad. I don't like him. They should call him Mr. Bad instead of Mr. Big.
Oh, true.
And because he is the big bad of Sex and the City, if you think about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. He's the Cersei Lannister of Sex and the City.
He's Big as the first evil. He's the final boss, just like Cersei Lannister. And he's pregnant, and they have to kill her. They have to kill him.
Oh, the Valonqar is gonna wrap his hands around her throat. His throat?
Yeah, that's Miranda. Miranda's the Valonqar in this.
Yeah, Miranda is the Arya Stark of the show.
Yeah, she's great. And so Carrie is just like, you don't want to judge me even a little bit? And Samantha, like this is kind of nice, but also I hate it because she says that's not my style. Which is like, on one hand, it's like that would be nice to say to a situation that didn't suck like this. Like having friends who support you no matter what. But like, it's not supporting your friend if you're like enabling them to do really shitty things. Like,
no, I mean like in Samantha's character, but then I mean we'll get to when Samantha gets cheated on.
Yeah, so
we'll get to when that happens in the future and her reaction to it.
Yeah,
it's not great.
It isn't.
Well, it's great.
It's great, but it's just like it's different from what she's basically saying here. And like I don't know. I feel like sometimes friends don't realize that like friends who support you unconditionally no matter what decisions you make aren't actually the best friends that you have. Like your friends should tell you when you're being a jackass.
Yeah, or if like, you know, you're doing heroin, your friend should be like, "Hey, maybe don't. Maybe we should go to like a rehab clinic." Like, you know how when you're at a nightclub or something and your friends had too many drinks, you go, "All right, let's go home. Like, we'll get, oh, you want a lemonade? Oh, sure, I'll get you lemonade and vodka." And then you just get her a lemonade.
Yeah, sometimes you do just gotta kind of like give your friends what they actually need instead of just being like, "It's fine, no matter what you do, I love you, sweetie."
No, if you give yourself alcohol poisoning, that's fine. Because I love you and I'm your friend. Like, no, take me home and shower me off and put me to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Samantha she's getting written as if she's supposed to be just like the world's best friend in this scene. And it's like,
I love when one of us squeak.
Yeah. That's just what the show makes me do. It makes me squeak a little bit. Yeah. And then Samantha wakes up the next morning and she has the flu somewhere out of nowhere.
This doesn't make any... So, like, she's got these, like, huge windows in her new apartment. And the only thing covering them up is, like really thin curtains, which cannot relate. I need to have blackout or bust. And they've like broken. She can't get them back up again. And obviously she's ill and it's like a whole thing. I don't understand why. Like if they were thick curtains, maybe, but they are literally like muslin.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. Because like half the plot of her this week is because she has the flu. She's like trying to call all these different guys to help her out to get her curtains back up. But none of the guys want to actually help her. They only want to fuck her because that's, you know, what she's talked to them in the past about before is having sex.
That's her thing.
And that's it. And yeah, she calls one guy and he just wants to like hook up with her, and she says that she can hardly blow her nose, let alone you, which is good, but then he just hangs up and yeah.
Rude.
So she no dice, she's not getting her curtains back up because, you know, she's sick.
She can't do it herself.
Yeah, and then, so that's it for Samantha for now. And then we go to Charlotte doing like this bridal registry shit with Trey, and like, I guess she just wants this like really expensive stuff. Like, she wants these really expensive plates, and Trey's just like, well, they'll look really nice under the ramen noodles we'll be forced to eat when we spend all our money on these goddamn plates.
I don't understand. Like, when isn't a registry like people buy you stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because they do say registry.
Yeah.
When, like, Carrie's voiceover says registry. Yeah, but it seems like she's actually picking stuff out for the wedding. And
like, either for the wedding or, like, for where they're gonna live. And it's, yeah, you buy your own. You, like, hello, please buy me a I don't know. I've never planned a wedding, so I'm not sure on the matters. But
yeah,
it does seem strange, but whatever. You know, it's like, oh, I love you. Don't make that face at me. And she's like, oh, this is a great bit. So she's like, okay, have you got the list for the engagement party of everyone you want to invite? And he's like, yeah. And he hands it over to her. And then, like, he also conveniently has the prenup, which is wrapped up, like, in the notes. And she's like, what's this? And he's like, oh, it's a prenuptial agreement. All the McDougalls do it. Don't worry about it. Have your lawyer look it over. Like, he's very, lackadaisical about the whole thing. And she is in pieces.
Yeah, Charlotte looks like she's gonna throw the plate on the floor, and, like, she's so distressed. She's just like, I can't believe someone would want me to, not just sign this. Yeah, I don't know. She looks very sad about it. And then we cut to her having Miranda look it over. Because, of course Miranda's her lawyer, because Miranda's a lawyer. And Miranda's basically just like, this all looks pretty standard and normal. And Charlotte's, like, distressed because she's like, this is so unromantic. Like, I don't want to be thinking about divorce. We're not even married yet. And it's like, he is a doctor. He does own a lot more than you do. So Miranda looks over the papers and is like, this is totally normal, and, like, it's, it's pretty standard. Nothing looks weird about it. But Charlotte's kind of like, it's so romantic, though, and I'm already thinking about divorce when we're not even married yet, and I hate it. And Miranda's kind of just like, okay, but, like, I wouldn't get married without a prenup. But, like, also just, like, Trey has way more than she does. Like, he's a doctor. It's like, I feel like it.
Yeah, he's a doctor from, like, a very rich family. And I don't know, it just seems strange to me that she's making such a big deal out of it. I feel like, and maybe nowadays prenups are just such, like, a common occurrence, at least when one of you either has a lot more assets than the other, or you're both financially, like, really independent from one another. Which, I mean, I don't think it's weird. Like, the weirdest thing about this prenup to me is that she gets, like, bonus for having a boy.
Yeah, that is fucked up. Because it's like, okay, so when Miranda gets down to the nitty gritty, it's basically just like, okay, so for every 5 years you're married, you get a percentage of $500K, and that's over 30 years. And then if she has any boys, she gets another $100,000. So, but then nothing for girls. So girls are worth nothing in the McDougal family.
Girls are worthless. Remember that.
Yeah. And Charlotte's like, I'm only worth $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of money still.
Girls are worthless, and Charlotte's only worth $500,000, but that's every 5 years, right, as well?
Yeah, it's every 5 years she gets a certain percentage of $500,000.
Oh, that's bullshit, then, yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know, Charlotte hates it, but also she just, like, thinks it's not even so much, I mean, it's partly about how much she's worth, but also it's just that she thinks it's really, like, there's no romance in the idea of, like, thinking about the possibility that they could get divorced, even though, like, the girls talk about how, like, 50% of marriages end in divorce.
And Charlotte's like, oh, I don't want to hear about that. She basically puts her hands over her ears and goes, la, 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 la.
And it's like, Charlotte, like, just, I don't know, like, it's a shitty prenup, but, like, at the same time, it's like, I don't know. If you're not expecting anything to go wrong anyway, then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, Miranda points out that it's normal for prenups to sort of go back and forth for a bit anyway. So, like, she can probably get a good deal out of the whole thing. But yeah.
Yeah. She does talk about negotiating.
She can negotiate. And then, so this is so, forced, but, like, these guys behind the girls stand up, and one of them's like, this is just so weird, and he's like, oh, Miranda, I see in the New York office that you're working through lunch. And then she's like, oh and this is George, and he's from the Chicago, like, branch of our firm, and he's in New York for a bit, and, you know, they're flirting, and then he leaves, and she's like, oh, we're going on a date. Like, it's just weird. Why would he be there? Like, I guess maybe it's meant to be, like, maybe it's in a restaurant near where she works, and, like, that's why a lot of the lawyers are there, but...
I think it's because New York is such a small city that it's just a coincidence that he was in the city and they ended up at the same restaurant at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's what it is. And I didn't even write his name down because I was like, you seem unimportant to me.
No, I had to look at IMDb, and, like, apparently, I mean, this guy was in 8th grade. I ain't seen 8th grade, and I'm not gonna. I can't be bothered. But
I didn't see it either.
no, he's been in a lot of stuff, and I believe he was credited as George, so.
Okay. Well, good for George. So.
Good for George.
Yeah, and then, okay, so Carrie is now like, oh, right, did we mention at some point that Aiden is, like, gone? Okay, so Aiden is, like, in Pennsylvania or something for, like, 2 days. He's gone for, like, 2 days.
I think he's gone to Philly, yeah. His whole thing. Okay, so he's dropping off, like, a chair the third customer, which in his own pickup truck. And I'm like, how do you drive? I imagine it's quite a ways, and especially if you have to stay for the weekend. I'm like, well, he's doing all this himself. Yeah, he can't just like FedEx it?
You'd think, but it's Aiden, so you know he's got to do everything with his own hands. Like he has to carry it there himself.
I imagine he even made his own nails. Like, he smelted them down. He chopped down a tree to build the fucking chair, and he killed the cow to make the leather. Like...
Yeah. He's a very handsy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but Carrie is like distressed because him being away means that she can't be with him, which means that her brain is just, well, I mean, she doesn't have a brain, but means her single brain cell is just like bouncing around her head, being like, I can't stop thinking about Big. So she like does everything in her apartment that she can do. She like organizes all her shoes. She like defrosts her fridge. She breaks into her cigarette stash, and then she starts, she starts to wonder.
I couldn't help but wonder.
I couldn't help but wonder, are we too spoiled by our choices that we just can't make decisions? Like, can we really have it all, as Samantha said? And, I mean, so she goes big on this question this week. This is a pretty broad question. Can you have it all?
I don't think we can really answer this one. Like, still trying to find that one out.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the answer is no, unless you're rich and you can have like nannies and people, and your job doesn't really matter too much, but like you're really passionate about it, but it doesn't pay your rent. You own a house, so you don't have to pay rent.
You can have more than other people. I don't know, because having it all means that you've got all the physical things that you need, like a job and a house and stuff, but it also means you've got like all the people you need and the relationships you need, and it means you're always happy, kind of, which is impossible. So
I think by the human condition, you kind of just want more and more and more anyway. Yeah.
And so I think she doesn't even really answer her question this week. She kind of poses it and then like never readdresses it again.
As usual.
But, yeah. But I mean, she does try to have it all. We do see that she has it all.
Yes. And then this is when she calls Big, right?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours later and she's done everything she can possibly do in her apartment. And she's just like, she calls him and she's just like, we need to talk about what happened. Because, it was just physical. It's not going to happen again. Like, you have a wife. And then Big's like, okay, but it was pretty fucking amazing, right?
Oh, my dick is like really big, right? Like, just, yeah.
He's like in the back of his personal car with his personal driver and talking on his phone, just being like, it was fucking good. And
you totally came because like you moaned, and that means that like you had an orgasm. So I'm really fucking like good in bed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's really good at it. It was fucking amazing. And she says we need to rise above our urges. And then it basically just smash cuts to them in bed together in her apartment. And I hate it a lot.
I hate it. And then Big is like, because Big is a horrible person. He's like, oh, we're only fucking hotels because the sheets smell of him. And I'm like, okay, dude, shut up. Like, he says, you know, oh, it smells like wood chips and Paco Rabanne. And then, of course, Carrie's like, oh, he doesn't wear cologne.
Or maybe he should. I hate Big so much.
I hate it.
Yeah. And they're like smoking in her bed, aren't they? Which like is like, how is Ada not gonna notice that when he like? There's no way you can smoke in your house and just have the smell not be there like 2 days later. But
no, I mean, like maybe if she really like ventilated her apartment and you know cleaned everything and was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna wash like the sheets, which she doesn't. I love this.
Yeah, she's dumb. So. And then, okay, so then Miranda's out with the lawyer guy, George, and they're being nasty in her hallway. They're kissing, and
oh yeah, this is where I thought his dick was out. It was great.
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, could you imagine if he just had his dick out in her hallway of her apartment building, just like. I don't know, this is kind of a dumb scene because he's basically like, well, if I wasn't going back to Chicago, I'd try to sleep with you. And Miranda's like, well, I'm drunk, so I'd probably let you, which is like, ew. And then they decide that they're going to do phone stuff later, and that's it. I don't get, like, is his flight isn't till the next morning, right? He
says he has an 11 a.m. flight, and I mean, when, you know, he wants to get to the airport early. So, I mean, I guess,
11 a.m.? That's not an early flight.
Why schedule a date the day, like, before your flight?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time, I'm like, whatever, I don't want you boning Miranda anyway, so bye.
No, true. But, yeah, so basically, like, the next day, like, he phones Miranda, and they don't immediately go into phone sex. They talk for a couple of hours, and it's just, like, you know, regular stuff. And then he's like, well, what are you wearing?
Yeah, phone sex is so awkward to me, but...
Oh, I hate it. Like, yeah. It's not pour moi, but I don't really have anything against it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, phone sex and sexting are kind of like the same thing to me, where I'm just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like, it just seems so awkward and forced and like not sexy to me, so I'm like, I mean, yeah... But, you know, it is what it is, but...
I mean, I feel like with everyone who has phone sex, like, immediately, as soon as you actually see them, it's just, like, the most awkward thing in the entire universe, so...
Yeah, that does seem kind of awkward, but...
You're like, yeah. So, you're gonna break my back, or...
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like you can talk a big talk.
And not walk the wig. Not walk the wig walk?
I don't know.
The wig walk, big walk... Listen, I'm not good with words.
I haven't heard that, but that's fine. But that's the thing is, he could be like, I'm mowing your hay, I'm cutting that hay down real short, and then, but then he could in real life not do it.
I mean, mowing hay is easier said than done.
Uh-huh.
And we all know men talk big. So yeah, it's just weird. And like... Nothing says, you know, we're all better writers than we are actors.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Carrie does wash her sex sheets. She calls them sex sheets, but she slept in them for 2 days first.
2 days? That's disgusting. And it definitely makes me think that, like, she wanted to, like, smell big. Like, it felt like a turn on that she's sleeping in her sex sheets.
Yeah, she loves it. She loves the sex sheets. And... she doesn't even get them washed before Aiden gets home. She takes them off the bed and throws them in the hamper.
Yeah.
And then Aiden gets home with Pete and he kisses her, and Carrie's like so worried that he can smell big on her, and then he's just like, Carrie, I realized something while I was gone. I love you, Carrie. And she says it back, so now it's like, what? He said I love you, so now she can't sleep with Big anymore, otherwise she's breaking Samantha's rule.
Yeah, otherwise she gets struck by lightning? Like, nothing has changed.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same thing, so, but she says it back.
Yeah, and then they start making out, and he sort of moves to the bed, And she's like, there's no sheets. She says it's such a girly voice.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when he picked her up. I was like, there's no sheets on her bed.
And he's like, fuck the sheets.
It doesn't matter because Carrie loves having sex on the floor. So, like, what's the difference? It's like a bed with no sheets is like a floor that's soft, kind of.
I would say that a floor, like, unless it's carpet, I don't think Carrie has carpet. I think she has like hardwood or like lino or something, and that's wipe down.
Yeah, true. Otherwise, your mattress is just gonna like get soaked with like cum forever because you can't put that in the wash. Yeah,
you can't wash a mattress. You can clean the floor.
Yeah, that's gross. And then okay, so then Miranda's having phone sex again. She loves it. She loves to have phone sex, and then she's like getting really into it, but then her second line beeps and it's Charlotte, and Charlotte's just like, yeah, Trey's mom won't negotiate on the prenup, I guess. And then Miranda's like, okay, just hang on. And then I was like waiting for Miranda to be talking to Charlotte and like switching between calls and just be like, your dick's in my mouth. But then Charlotte's like, excuse me? But that never happens.
That would have been so funny. But anyway, this is some great acting because yeah, she's flipping like between them and she's like, all right, your dick's in my mouth, hold on.
Yeah. And then she basically just goes back to Charlotte and says, hey, can you call me back? Can I call you like tomorrow? I'm a little busy right now. And well, before that, she's basically just like gives Charlotte the advice of just being like, okay, well, this tells us that the mom holds all the cards. And then that's it. And then she's like, okay, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then when she gets back to the guy, he's like, I just came. And
but now we're going to have to sort you out. Disgusting.
Gross. Yeah, it's gross.
I just don't like the phrasing, really, of any of it.
I hate it.
Yeah. Then what happens? You tell me. I feel like I'm being told a story.
Okay, so then Carrie is at Sam's apartment, and so she's making her cough syrup and Fanta over ice in the blender, which...
Yeah, she's making her lean. This is lean. Straight up. This is... Because it's purple cough syrup, which... I don't know why in America cough syrup has codeine in it, but go off, I suppose.
I don't know if it does in Canada. I don't think it does in Canada. I'm not sure.
I can't imagine it does, but like that's always been the strangest thing to me. Like, as someone who does take codeine for pain relief, I'm like, I only take it when I'm in like, you know, at an 8 or a 9. I've had a lot of colds and flus. I've never been like, oh, do you know what I need? I need something that will put me to sleep for about 8 hours.
You need codeine when you have a cold. Yeah. It's
opioids.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a slushy. It does look kind of delicious.
Yeah. And Carrie's smoking still.
Yeah, Carrie's smoking. Samantha
But she's on her bullshit. That's what it's a metaphor for being on your bullshit.
It's a metaphor, Hazel Grace.
They only hurt if you light them.
God, we need to get Brooks back.
Yeah, we do.
But Samantha this is some great sick acting because I don't know about you, I am this dramatic every time I have so much stuff nose.
Same.
She's like, oh, you're not making it right, because apparently this is like what her mother used to make her when she was sick.
I guess so.
And
yeah,
I think like being ill when you're by yourself is it's so horrible. It's like climbing a mountain.
It's really bad, and it does suck. She really is just like completely alone. Like, Carrie's the only person who comes to visit her or help her out, and Carrie's like, okay, this is the most valid Carrie is the entire episode. She like helps Samantha blow her nose, and like it's disgusting.
You don't need help to blow your nose, Samantha. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
yes.
I relate because if I have the cold, I act like I'm dying of consumption. And that is she's like all stuffed up, and I'm pretty sure she's not wearing like any makeup apart from maybe like some red to make her look a bit like sicker, and it's just I mean, I loved it.
I thought it was good.
And like Samantha is crying because she's like, it doesn't, she's taking back everything she said before. She's like, I called all these guys, none of them helped me. Life doesn't mean jack shit unless you've got a man. Yeah,
Carrie's voiceover basically says that like Samantha had turned into Charlotte overnight by being sick. And because Samantha says like, men only want to hold your hand or fuck you. But she says fuck you like really like, or fuck you. Like, she says it really like, yeah. And then Carrie, her voiceover is just like, I'd slept with both types of guys in the last 48 hours. And we're like, we know and we hate you.
and Samantha's like, and the only ones that mean anything are the ones that want to hold your hand. And then Carrie's like, maybe I should listen to my friend. And then she doesn't.
Yeah, no. And then we just warp speed jump to 3 days later where Samantha's like healthy again, like nothing ever happened. And they're at the I guess the engagement party thing at this like uptown, I guess it's part of the McDougal. I don't know if it's like, I don't think it's their house, but it's like
their clan. Like,
yeah.
Rich people who have like a crest. Like, people who have, like, a family crest. Like, I fucking hate these people. They always have, like, I don't know, like a main house. They have, like, a patriarch, and then they have, like, a big house, and then everyone splits off into their little apartments or smaller houses. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah, rich people are wild.
They are.
Yeah, and they get to the party, and, like, I really hate it. Like, I pasted a picture into the Discord of, like, of Carrie's hair. It's like as if she's trying to do like a Princess Leia type thing, but instead of the buns being symmetrical, one of them is like on the top of her head and one of them is like on the side of her head, kind of. But like, I don't know. It looks really dumb.
It looks
I didn't like it.
Stupid.
And she's not valid. Yeah.
She's a mouse. Duh. Like,
pretty much.
You know when you have mouses, like if you wear mouses and then like after you move your head a couple of times, they kind of slip to the side. Like, it looks like that. She looks fucking I cannot stress to you enough how stupid she looks.
Yeah. I think she's cosplaying as like, okay, so she's like Minnie Mouse, and then Aiden is Mickey Mouse, the boy she's supposed to be fucking. And then Big is like Goofy.
Oh my God, okay. Goof Troop theory. What if his mother was Minnie and like Minnie gave him up because like she was having an affair? Like, she did the whole thing where she was like, oh, Mickey, I'm gonna have to leave and go to a spa for a bit, bye. And then she had Goofy's baby and like gave it to him, and then that's who Max's mother is.
Oh my God, I love this headcanon. It's really good.
I love the idea that Minnie is like raw dogging Goofy.
I don't love the idea of it, but I do love that it's just, you know, like a mystery that didn't need to be solved, but we solved it anyway.
Oh, yeah. So we're detectives. We're the Nancy Drews of podcasting.
Yeah. And we're solving all the most important cases. We're like my favorite Mickey Mouse murder. Yeah. Except for it's about affairs. Yeah. We're much smarter.
Yeah. I remember on that show they did have a loud cat, so it makes sense.
Oh, I love it. I will say that we're probably smarter than the My Favorite Murder people, but I will not. I don't think I can say that for Looker versus the other cat. But that's fine because Looker doesn't need to be smart.
We are smart because I feel like if we had an actual factual podcast, we would do research.
Oh, yeah.
No. But
the thing is, we don't.
Listen, I read at least more than one article when I do HKIP. I'm sorry to boast.
Wow. How do you have time to do that? The thing is, this podcast is us using 10% of our brains, like in that, what is it, Bradley Cooper movie?
Well, there's a Bradley Cooper music, there's a Scarlett Johansson movie, so one of us can be Bradley, one of us can be Scarlett, it's fine.
I don't want to be either.
True.
I'm happy with only using 10% of my brain.
I wish I could use fucking 0% of my brain. That's what I do most of the time.
True, but then we would be Carrie, so we have to use a little bit. So this party is entirely wasps. They even say that. Miranda says it's entirely wasps. And Charlotte and Trey show up, and Trey introduces the girls to Bunny, and Bunny's just like being her kooky self. Yeah, just a wild, goofy older lady.
She's like, oh, you need to keep the guests out of the maid's room.
We have maids because we're rich and white.
And they have rooms in our house.
Oh, they do.
She says there are pictures of her, like, I guess, rowing. And she's like, they're embarrassing. I don't want anyone to see. Why would that? Imagine being a maid for, like, some rich, like, old white people. And then they have, like, pictures of themselves in your room. I would murder them. I would legit murder them and take all their money.
But I mean, that's the only thing that's important is like you get a maid and then they're now part of your family. Well, okay, they're like now like, okay, this family is the only thing I know, but they're also still not a part of your family because you can't let the maid be part of your family because you're rich, right? And so you can't let the poorer people be part of your family.
No, we can't let poor people into our family because that would be disgusting. And, you know, they probably believe in eugenics and all that shit. I hate these people.
Yeah, I hate them too. They're bad. I don't like Bunny. And Trey and Bunny leave for something. And Charlotte is just like really anxious because she still hasn't signed the prenup. And she's basically just like, well, no one cares about me. She's that monkey who's like, I'm all alone. Nobody care me. Oh. And Trey doesn't say anything, you know, because like Charlotte's like, okay, well, Trey just leaves everything to his mommy and he doesn't say anything because he's a big old cuck baby.
Red flag.
Uh-huh. Just does everything his mommy wants, which is bad. And Carrie's just like, well, I can't tell you what to do. And like, then we get her voiceover who's just like, who am I to say anything? I'm a terrible homewrecker. I shouldn't give anyone advice, even though I write a column about...
Even though I have an advice column.
Uh-huh. And yeah, Miranda and all the girls are just like, we can't tell you what to do. We're useless. And so then Charlotte approaches Bunny alone, and suddenly out of nowhere, she goes from being anxious wreck to like cunning, clever girl who's like, I haven't signed the prenup. I have a problem with it. And Bunny's just like, okay, well, it's pretty standard. Like, look, that's just how it is. And Charlotte's like, well, we haven't finalized everything. And if I backed out, everything would be really pretty fucked up and weird. Because if I backed out, then, you know, Trey would be sad.
Well, she doesn't even say Trey would be sad. She's just like, so, you know, the times, like, the times, like, I don't know, you know how they have, like, so-and-so got married, whatever. The announcements, like, that's going to go out, but Trey's not going to be married, so people are going to ask questions, and you're going to be embarrassed. So I feel like I'm going to break your son's heart. Just, you're going to be embarrassed. And, Charlotte suddenly gets, like, this like, backbone out of nowhere.
Well,
I was thinking she's the Sansa Stark, you know. She's the real player in the Game of Thrones.
I was just about to say Charlotte's a slow learner, but she learns.
Yeah.
And she's playing the Game of Thrones finally. She's made it 5 seasons in and she's like, I'm woman on top.
This is literally Sansa and Cersei.
Yeah, even though last week we said she was Olenna.
Yeah, so no. I mean, maybe this is like Marjorie and Cersei, where she's like, I'm going to steal your son.
Uh-huh. It pretty much is. And then when they get married, it's really, really kooky when Trey, like, starts choking and dies in Bunny's arms.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
And then, like, the weird, like, pedo who's been hanging around Charlotte the whole time is like, oh, hey, I'm back. Come on, let's go.
It's good.
It's
good.
They
leave.
It's a good show. Emmy.
I can't keep straight who's Cersei and Sansa and Marjorie and Bunny and Charlotte and fucking...
They're all the same.
Who knows? Everyone's the same, and women be playing...
Women are on top.
Uh-huh. That's the thing you gotta know about women. And they love to be on top of other women. That's what's happening in this scene is Charlotte's, like, taking the stand against the other woman, and it's good. Mm-hmm. It's really good writing. It's really good character building. The Bunny is then like, how much do you want? Because Charlotte negotiated flawlessly. And Charlotte says she's worth $1 million.
I'm like, I don't really understand how it jolted so fast from her being like, I don't want to sign a prenup because I don't want to get divorced. Like, I'm really offended that this was even given to me, blah, 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 to like, I just want $1 million.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah. And she's not,
it's good.
Like, assuming, because her whole thing is like, no, we're going to stay married. Like, this is the love of my life. She's not even going to get $1 million if she divorces him.
Yeah.
if they stay together the way she wants, she's not going to get that money because it's going to be their shared money. And, you wouldn't divorce him after 30 years. That doesn't make sense. You wouldn't divorce him when you're, fucking 60.
The thing is, you can't think too hard about it. If you do, then you have problems. But if you kind of squint and look at it, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's like a Jackson Pollock painting.
It is, yeah. It's just like that. And yeah, Charlotte returns to the girls and she's just so excited that she negotiated and signed the prenup. And then it's kind of just since Charlotte's all happy and getting married, now it's just the three girls with no Charlotte anymore. And Carrie's voiceover is just we didn't have it all anymore because we didn't have Charlotte. And the three girls leave without her and they're this is so weird that Charlotte's not here, even though they do stuff without Charlotte all the time.
All the time. Yeah, I don't know. This is, I mean, I get it, but it would be sad if they actually did anything with it in the episode, but they don't.
Yeah.
Do you think people in 2000 were oh my God, Charlotte's leaving the show?
I don't know how hard people thought about serialized TV back then. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were just time to turn on Seinfeld and go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know what rumors were because they had internet, but it's not they, I don't know, people were asking Jeeves, is Kristen Davis leaving show? And Jeeves is here are my results.
Anyone can die.
True, anyone can die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carrie, then we go to Carrie in bed with Aiden in the morning, and in her brain, she's I feel I'd given up an addiction, but then the phone rings and it's Big.
Oh, I hate him. Okay.
Yeah. I hate him too. He's bad.
He's come downstairs or I'm leaving. And she does that thing where she's yeah, okay, yeah, sure, she's just talking to anyone. And then she's she says to Aiden she's going to take Pete for a walk. And she comes downstairs and she's what the fuck? You could just call me. Don't call my apartment. And
yeah, she gives him shit, but she's also full of shit.
She's also there. He said I'll leave. No, he said I'll come up, which is fucking shitty. He didn't even say come downstairs or I'm leaving. He said come downstairs or I'm coming up, which great. Yeah. He's also wearing a cabana shirt. He looks like he's just come from Cuba.
He is. I wonder if this is supposed to be a visual cue that Big is fucking losing it because he's always in a suit, and so they're giving us a weird kooky Big outfit so that we're whoa, this guy's really woof.
Maybe because Carrie dresses kooky that he's dressing kooky. Which, speaking of Carrie dressing kooky, she's in running shorts and then a little bohemian white top and then red mules, red high-heeled sexy little Jane Mansfield slippers. I don't understand this outfit, but I'm kind of with it. It's a rip-off of the jeans and the red heels that Beyonce wore in the Crazy Love video.
It's a good look, but I agree, it's weird, but it looks good.
It's weird to walk a dog in.
I mean, I guess she was already wearing this outfit before she went outside, other than the heels, I guess. But she's I'm just gonna throw on my walking the dog heels today, and yeah, so she gets big shit, and she's you think you can have it all. You think you can have the wife and the Carrie, and then Big's bullshit, I just want you. Mm-hmm. I don't want my wife. I hate my wife. I just want Carrie, which is unrelatable.
Unrelatable. He says, oh, I'm going to tell her tonight. It's going to be over between us. And Carrie's no.
Yeah, she's the fuck are you talking about?
Well, Carrie says, married men don't leave their wives, which... I'm sorry to break it to you, honey.
Yeah, and she's just this is stupid. I have a boyfriend who loves me. He's got lots of hair. And then she's not paying attention, and Pete slips out of the leash slips out of her hands, and Pete just starts running away, and Carrie doesn't notice for I don't know, 20 seconds. He's down the road.
He has bolted it, yeah.
Yeah. He bolts it. He's like, I fucking hate you. I'm running away. Pete is us. Like, I kin Pete in this episode. Pete's my top ranking at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers. He bolts. And then Carrie is like, fuck Pete. And then she like bolts after him in her heels. She's like sprinting in heels. And then Big is running behind her. And he's not even catching up to her, which is wild.
And it's like she's wearing, again, I said she's wearing mules. So like she just has like the front part of her foot in it, like there's no back. The heels are clippy clapping. She's not even got an ankle strap. This is Sarah Jessica Parker deserves an Emmy, and I think she got one for this.
For running in heel scene.
Running in those fucking heels and wearing heels in like every single fucking episode. I'm sorry. How did she not break her ankle? I would have died.
Yeah, she probably did. Like that's wild to me. Like I can maybe like I can walk fine in heels, but not like this full on sprint. Like this is wild to me. Yeah, she runs for a while and then eventually she's just like, okay, well, where is Pete? And Big like catches up to her and is just like, let me help, I want to help. And Carrie's like, please fuck off and go home and don't talk to your wife or don't tell your wife about this. And so I guess we leave Carrie for a while. We go back to Miranda, who's like having phone sex again. And then she's like distracted. Or no, she's distracted because he's like describing what he's doing. But then I don't know. This didn't make sense to me. She's like, that's not where we are yet. What are you talking about?
So here's what happens. So he gets like an incoming call and he's like, oh, sorry, I have to take this. Like, you know, when she did with Charlotte.
Right.
And then he comes back and when he's talking to Miranda, he's like, oh, you know, we're kissing. I got my hand on your nipple, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back and he's like, and I'm thrusting. And then Miranda's like, oh, we weren't there yet. So he had another call from someone else that he was having phone sex with. And they were at the point where he was thrusting.
Why juggle phone sex? That sounds so unnecessary. Like, why? This is like one nut for the price of two.
Yeah, how much cum do you have in your balls that like you need to juggle 2 different phone sex?
Well, I feel like it's the opposite. Like he has very minimal cum in his balls, so he wants to get the most sex in with the least nut possible. Because if he had a lot of cum, well, first of all, we're talking about this like as if cum is stored in the balls and not the legs. So the thing is, if he had a lot, then what he would be doing is he'd be spreading it out over multiple calls so he could let out multiple nuts.
True.
So my theory is that he has like the world's tiniest amount of cum possible. So he's like gonna call both of them and do both at the same time.
It just seems like a lot of legwork to me, literally.
Yeah, you're right.
If you're having phone sex with one of them, then the other calls you go, oh, I'd really love to speak with you, but I'm super swamped at the moment. Like, I'm really busy. I'll call you tomorrow. And then that's fine. I don't really understand what you need to juggle. But then Miranda calls him out and she's like, are you having phone sex with someone else? And he's like, well, I didn't really think we were exclusive.
Like, this is I don't know. It's a really stupid storyline.
It's a bizarre way to end it.
That's like the end of her plot this episode. That's it. Is she had phone sex, but then she was like, you're not exclusive with me. And then that's it. That's it. The whole story.
Yep.
They've had phone sex like 3 times and she got phone cheated on. So, poor Miranda, we And okay, this is the end of the episode then.
Thank God.
We get, thank God. But also I hate the end. It's not as bad as like the last couple, the last ending was really bad. This ending is like, meh. She's still searching for Pete. It's like hours later and it's pouring rain and dark out and we can like see her nipples through her shirt because her white shirt is completely soaked and she's got a pink bra on and her nipples are poking through her bra and she's smoking again. So,
and she's wearing like the thinnest shirt as well. I mean, you could already see her bra through it when it was dry. And so she's like crying and she's like, oh, I lost Pete and I cheated on Aiden. I'm literally the worst girlfriend in the world.
She's right for once.
For once, yeah. So she goes back to her apartment and like Aiden's there and he's like, oh my God, Carrie, I was so worried, you know, and he hugs her and she's like, I lost Pete, I'm so sorry. And Pete comes out like he's fine.
Pete's on the floor, just lying there totally normal, which, like, begs the question, what, did, like, Big find him and bring him back? Like, I don't understand.
Well, Aiden says, like, oh, he found his way home, it's fine. But I don't feel like Pete has even been in her place enough for him to know where it is. And, like, what, did he fucking open the door?
Pete got to the door and he stood on his hind legs and he rang the buzzer for Carrie's apartment and he was like, Aiden, bark, 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 bark. Aiden, let me in.
But, like, I'm sorry, if my dog came out, if my girlfriend was like, hey, I'm gonna go walk the dog, and, like, the dog came back without her, I'd be like, hey, what the fuck is going on?
My other guess is maybe Aiden was like, I'm gonna go sit outside on the porch because I don't know where Carrie is. Maybe she's out there and I'm gonna sit out there. And then Pete came back and he was like, hey, buddy. But I like to think that Pete rang the doorbell. Pete rang the buzzer.
Me too. And he went up the stairs.
Pete's the MVP of this episode. He's the MVP.
Oh, 100%. In your Sex and City League tables, Pete's gonna get a lot of points.
Oh, Pete is getting me all the points this week because he got like 10 kills. He found his way back home. He had a really emotional reunion. Yeah. Pete's in my fantasy league. But then we get this moment before the end where it's like, oh my god, because Aiden's like, I need to ask you something, Carrie. We both know you don't like taking the dog for a walk, and I can smell something on you. And then there's just like a long silence, and Carrie looks like very guilty. Carrie's like, Don, look at me.
Yeah, she looks like shit as well. Like, the camera's so close up to her, like, remember she did the single like fabulous thing and she looked terrible.
Yeah,
it's like that. She's like she's doing the like Kubrick stare at the camera. It's great cinematography.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And then and Aiden's like, did you cheat?
And there's like these long silences.
And then he's like, have you been smoking? Who says, oh, have you started smoking again? Who says that as, did you cheat?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Because it literally is just for drama to get us to be like, oh my god, he knows about Big. But, like, no, he's just like, I can smell the cigarettes on you. And she's like, yes, I did cheat. And then he's just like, are you quitting? And she's just like, yes, I really want to. I'm trying. And, like, her voiceover is just like, it was the truth. I did want to quit and I was cheating.
This threw me for a misdirect. Yeah, they hug and, like, everything's fine. But, like, I thought, because I remember, like, there's an episode later where, like, they go to, like, Aiden's, like, summer house and Big is there and it's all really awkward. And I'm like, I swear Aiden does find out that, like, Carrie cheated, but, like, he forgives her. So I thought she was going to say, like, look, I slept with him, but, like, it's over now. I love you. I just want to be exclusive. I want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, let's forget about it. And he goes, okay.
At some point, I don't remember how it happens, but that does happen. Yeah.
I mean, if she had said it then, I wouldn't have, like, that would have been a good, nice cliffhanger. And, like, I think he probably still would forgive her. And it's just, like, so weird to continue to... I mean, she's technically not lying, but obviously she is.
Yeah, and yeah, I do think he definitely would. Aiden is, like... He's, like, the perfect guy for her in every way that we've already said, like, the hair and everything. Mm-hmm. But, like... Also, he's, like, the most forgiving guy in the world.
Aiden deserves to be canonized by the Catholic Church. He's a saint. Like, he is above reproach. Like, it's kind of, I mean, in a way, it's kind of annoying because he, at least in this moment, is just, like, perfect. Like, he's so kind, he's so understanding, he's so loving. But, like, seriously, like, that's my whole issue, is just I need him to have a fault if you want me to at least find this, like, at all interesting.
That's true. I mean, that was Carrie's plot, like, 3 episodes ago. She was like, Aiden, why don't you have any character faults? Why are you too good of a character that I mean, that is what she basically said to him. And he was like, sorry, I don't have any character faults.
Sorry, I'm perfect.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I guess rankings... We can rank these girls, these women.
These women. I'm gonna say, well, Carrie's at the bottom for both of us.
Yes, of course.
I'm struggling with everyone a little bit. I'm gonna say Carrie, and then Samantha, and then I guess Charlotte and then Miranda. Charlotte is lower just because of her waspiness. I can't really cope with any of this, like, rich people bullshit.
Yeah, that's valid. I feel like I'm gonna do close to that. I'm gonna do Carrie at the bottom, then Samantha, and then I think I'm gonna do Miranda just because I thought her story was, like, really boring. Like, it was so forgettable that I will never remember that it happened after we record this episode. And then I'm gonna put Charlotte at the top because of Women on Top. Like, because of her really cool, out of nowhere, she suddenly learned to master the social politics game and come out and get the money. I thought it was a cool character development to happen in 1 second. So I'm going to put her at the top.
I do love a scam. So I'm into Charlotte. That is true. I do love. I mean, see, if she was like, I don't want a prenup because I'm gonna fucking take everything in a divorce. I'm gonna be married to him for a year. I'm gonna take fucking everything and then bounce. I would be like,
that would make her so valid.
Stan worthy, extremely valid. But like, she's not. So
you know what would be a really good movie if they made Ocean's 4 with the 4 girls and their job was to like scam all of these like exes of theirs, like if they scammed like Big and Trey. There's nothing to scam for Steve, but like, I don't know, they just like scammed these men and took them for like everything they were worth and then just left them for filth. Like, that would be fucking good.
I would love that. 100%. Yeah, I mean, let's write the script. Let's work on it.
Yeah, that could be a Patreon bonus. We could write our script for Ocean's 4 and do a dramatic reading of it.
Should we answer questions?
Let's answer questions. We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's true. I can read them if you want to take a break.
That sounds cool. You can read them.
I can read. Don't know if you guys knew this about me, but
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. God, we got another question as we were doing this, so I don't know if we'll have time for all of them.
Let's see what we can do. Let's see how long they take.
Yeah. Okay, so first question is from Anonymous, who asks, what are your favorite episodes of SATC?
I feel like this is hard because I feel like I have favorite plots from the show. Like, yeah. I feel like there's ones where I'm like, I love this, but the episode as a whole, like, for example, I loved the episode, what was the recent one that I really, like, when I think about, like, classic episodes of the show, I think about, like, Funky Tasting Spunk, but then that also has, like, Carrie cheats on Big in it. And so, like, I hate it, but I also like one of the plots. So maybe we should do like, what's your favorite plot line from an episode of the show? Yeah.
I think because like, I mean, I do like the LA episodes. Those are like fully just episodes that are good.
Those are good.
Yeah, but like most of the time, because everyone has sort of like a disparate plot that is hard to be like, this is an episode that I like. I do like the wedding episodes. Whenever there's a wedding, I'm down. Mm-hmm. I love me a wedding. I think favorite plots, obviously Funky Tasting Spunk, the cardboard cutout of a baby.
Yes, that is a top tier for me because that is the most memorable moment from the entire show for me. So
yep. I also like when Miranda has her baby. That's fun. That's like a nice one. And there is I think the whole like the arc of when Samantha gets breast cancer is like actually pretty well done.
I think that's well done too, and there's like some extremely, extremely good like friendship moments with that, with like Carrie and Samantha that I like.
Mr. Pussy.
Those are all up there. Yes, Mr. Pussy is extremely up there with his tongue. And I think I really like the Virgin Mary statue episode, or like that plot with Miranda and the maid. I really like the post-it note one, the post-it note breakup. That's not until like season 6.
Fucking Burger, not Matt, who is our friend, but other Burger.
Yeah, that one is like a hoo boy. It's a fun episode. What else? I think those are really the big ones. Those are like the main. And the Piss King, John Slattery.
Of course.
Yeah, like that one episode that's a star episode to me. So yeah.
Thank you, Anonymous. Okay, next question. is from friend of the show, PR the Disaster, who asks, Carrie says Samantha became Charlotte this episode, and it got me thinking, what pairs of characters would you like to see Freaky Friday'd together? Which ones would be absolutely disastrous? Including the supporting cast, like, I don't know, Steve and Miranda's cat, go wild.
I'd love to see Miranda and Carrie switch places because Miranda would, like, get a call from Big and be like, never call me again, I'm gonna kill your whole family. And then we wouldn't have this plot anymore.
Okay, and then Carrie, like, has to solve a trial and it's, like, Legally Blonde. It is just a scene from Legally Blonde and she's...
Yeah.
The fashion and like perms and stuff is how she can solve the case.
I love it. Yeah.
Who else? I would like to see, I imagine, this is me writing my fan fiction. This is canon, by the way, that they're, you know, Anthony, Charlotte's gay friend?
Yes.
He and Stanford have a Freaky Friday moment and it's just never addressed.
It's just like they swap and like, that's it. It's just like that for the rest of the show?
No, they swap back, but like they don't tell the girls.
It's interesting.
I call my friend to shop because then we can figure out when it took place.
That sounds good. Is there anyone else?
I think Big, and then maybe there's like a serial killer. There's probably a serial killer in New York at the time. I mean, there's always a serial killer in New York.
Yeah.
So maybe Big and the serial killer swap places, and then like Big got shot and died, and then this is like Charles Manson or some other person has overtaken his body because he went from like not giving a shit about Carrie to being her stalker, and I have questions.
I think there's no way we could disprove this.
No.
What if Big and Aiden switched bodies?
Well, then Carrie's onto a fucking winner. Do you think Carrie would want to have sex? Which one would she want to have sex with more? Aiden in Big's body or Big in Aiden's body?
Well, she likes Aiden's hair. We know that.
Yeah.
And she likes Big's personality. Well, she hates his personality, but well, Big. I've said this before on Discord, but Big and Carrie are kismissies, which is bad. Don't ban me for saying that. And so she loves, fucks Big. So she wants the look of Aiden with the hate fuck of Big. So,
Ugh.
That's what I say.
I think they would all be disastrous. To answer your like second part of the question, I think they're all terrible.
Yeah. What if Miranda was inside all of them and then all of their other personalities were erased? Except Samantha.
That would be a good show. They're just but like,
yeah,
you kind of need some, like we said with when Lola was on, you kind of need one friend to be the disaster.
Yeah, that's true. To just, you know, set the bar real low for you.
Yeah, so
I think that was a good question.
That was a good question. Thank you for sending it in. Okay, next one. A friend of the show, Key Princess, aka Summer, and I'm loving this new name.
Oh, me too. Yes, can we shout out Summer's new cat, La, who's amazing?
La is a princess and a kitty, so it makes sense.
And we love black cats on the show.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that like I can get a black cat soon, and then we can complete the trifecta, the Triforce.
I love it. I love that so much.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so Summer asks, a few days ago, I learned that people of all ages are having significantly less sex than ever right now, but no one can put their fingers on why. Theories?
I have depression. That's my excuse.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. We're both on antidepressants. And I think a lot of people are just like, there's probably more diagnosis of mental illness, so maybe people on more medication that just makes their dicks and clitori not as functioning as they want it to be.
Yeah, that happens. Mood stabilizers be like, you want to have an orgasm? Try again.
Be like, your mood is stabilized.
But so is your dick. So if you want your dick to be destabilized, better luck next time. So,
I guess, like, not to be like...
It's the economy.
People be on that phone, and I feel like, in the way of 20 years ago, if I wanted to find someone, then I would probably just go out to a bar for the evening, and maybe I would sleep with them because they're in front of me. And now it's like, okay, I need to talk to you for 2 weeks to make sure you're not a serial killer, and then maybe I'll meet up with you.
That's true. People also got so much more stuff to do these days than they did 20 years ago. Like, people need to work 2 jobs full time to fucking pay their rent. You're too tired to have sex. If you don't get a fucking degree from school, people make you feel like you're not worth anything, even though you're just even though that's fake. So everyone's like, way more people are probably in school, which is fucking burns everyone out. School plus work. Like, people are tired.
People are fucking, I mean, I'm tired all the time. I mean, I do have the hours in the day to have sex, but I don't have the wherewithal mentally.
I hit the bed and I'm like, sleepy time, bitch. Like, 24-hour sleep cycle. If you awake, you fake. And basically that, thanks, wolf puppy. But I don't know. Plus, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if more people are in long distance relationships than before, but that's a thing too. You can't fuck someone who's 400 kilometers away from you.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to be in long distance relationships. And I think there's more of like, because of that, there's more of a desire to find maybe an emotional connection over a physical one. I think,
yeah, there's lots.
Like, speaking to sort of like my friends and stuff, I feel like a lot of us kind of prioritize like mentally and emotionally having a connection with someone over like physically. Like, there are a lot of people who like physically I might find like super hot and like will want to bang, and if they're in the same room as me, we don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I feel like a lot of like, no, I want to have a deep connection with someone. That's sort of more what I'm seeing. And I don't know if that's really like a millennial thing or a 2019 thing. It's just probably because of the access we have with internet that's easier to do. It's easier to find friends and loved ones than it is to meet and talk to people in person sometimes, as we all know too well.
Plus, it's 2019, which means Pokemon Go exists. So, like, if I can choose between, like, oh, I'm gonna go home and have sex, or I'm gonna go out and play Pokemon Go, it's like, well,
why don't you Pokemon Go to the bedroom?
Maybe. I'm on an SSRI. I can't help being me. I need to catch them all. So
also, there's just a lot of sex toys available, so you can jerk off however you wanna.
That's true.
Thanks, Summer.
Thank you, Summer.
Next question is from another anonymous. Well, it's not, but I'll get to that.
I love this question.
I love this question. How did the girls die in the newest episode of The Game of Thrones? Or did one of them live? From Mogu. Thanks, Mogu.
Well, everyone lived pretty much, so...
Because they're main characters?
All the main characters lived, so, well, we already discussed... Wait, so is Charlotte Marjorie or is she Sansa? Because I think half of Charlotte exploded like 2 seasons ago in a church. Like, she went to church and then it blew up from, Bunny blew up the church. And then the other half of her was, being the crypt keeper. So,
yeah,
who can never be sure, but I think Charlotte lived.
Charlotte lived. I think Samantha is definitely the Tyrion of the series because she's always like at least a little bit drunk.
She loves to fuck, just like Tyrion. Tyrion famously loves to fuck.
And then Carrie fucking sucks, so I don't really care. But Carrie is the main character, so she's 100% alive.
Oh, no, Carrie was the main character. Well, Carrie was, like, fighting off all of the whites, and she's the one who shoved Big into a spear, and he died. And Carrie was really, really sad about it, which made no sense, because Big is, like, probably a pedophile and a slaver, but, so...
In universe.
Yeah. Miranda? Wait, Miranda sat in her chair and she was just like, I'm going now, bye. So I think they all lived. I don't think any of them died.
Miranda is Arya. I said that at the start of the show. So Miranda just did like all the fucking work. Even though she's 5'2".
I think she could be Arya and Bran.
She killed all those men, even though she's a tiny child.
Yeah. And then she was like, Steve, even though you're a horrible, horrible person, you're also a good man. And then Steve ran headfirst into a spear and died. And it was really good. It was really good.
I wish Steve had his fucking dick cut off like 3 seasons ago, but that didn't happen.
Me too. Who yelled into the dragon's mouth? Who did that?
I don't know. I don't think any of them are really that stupid.
I think it was Aiden, because that's the person that Carrie is like canonically sleeping with, like that's the person Carrie claims to be in love with. So big is the spear, and then I think Aiden is the one screaming into the dragon's mouth, and he also lives.
Oh my god, Pete is Ghost. Oh, this all fits.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is like, I can't believe this is coming together like this. Like, we should write for Game of Thrones. We're so smart.
Listen, we would have written it would have been terrible, but it would be leagues above what actually happened. I mean, you have read the books. I haven't, but like...
That's fine. We would be just as successful as the people who currently make the show.
Exactly.
It's really good. So donate to our Patreon so we can make the show. We can make our own Game of Thrones. So.
Okay. Next question. Do you want to do another question?
I think we can do another question. Sure.
This one is also from another one from friend of the show, PR The Disaster, who has this to say. I love this question too.
It's really good.
Thought experiment. In a SATC AU in London, would Carrie be JKR? Which, love all these little acronyms.
So, do you think Carrie has enough brain cells to do a really bad job world building a universe?
I don't feel like Carrie is a fiction writer. I'm speaking in the London AU right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would like write for The Guardian. I think one of two things. Okay, so she's either like writing for The Guardian and she's got like a double-barreled name and she's really obnoxious. And she's like, oh, I'm going to write about like rich white people shit. Or, I guess, I mean, these don't really exist anymore. But you know, like trashy celebrity gossip magazines? She's one of them. She's definitely like, she 100% strikes me as like tabloid journalist. Like the horrible British tabloids who like just hound the fuck out of people and like are horrible and like sensationalist and like, yeah, she's 100% working for Piers Morgan, especially in the 90s.
That makes sense.
She's writing for the Daily Mail. She's writing for the Female with an I and an L. Like, get it?
Wow.
She's writing for the Daily Mail about Kim Kardashian, and then she has like a blog. She has a column, and she's like, here's why I think something probably turfy, you know?
I love it, and I think you're right. And yeah, she definitely wouldn't be a fiction writer. That makes so much sense. What do you think? Okay, what would Steve's translation of his like Brooklyn accent be if it was a London AU?
Straight up Cockney, I suppose. Actually, I guess they would move to like the London version of Brooklyn is Essex, really. Because that's like, or maybe that's like Staten Island. Essex is like kind of a sort of like, it's near London. It's not really London, but it has this like kind of a similar like East End accent to Cockney. And it kind of has a reputation of being like a little bit lower. But then modern Brooklyn is, I guess, just East London. East London's really trendy. It used to be like where all the poor people were, and there still are, but now it's like, we have a coffee shop and we're selling £12 coffees that are tiny and shit.
Oh, just like the gentrification we were talking about before.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like he would just have like a really like, oi up, Gav. That's terrible. And I'm from London. But yeah, well, because if I did an actual one, it wouldn't even sound that different from my accent, so it's not very funny.
That's fine. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, that would be the translation. I think he would just work in a pub instead of a bar.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think everyone else would just be more or less the same.
Yeah, because like Miranda could still be a lawyer. So
yeah, she just has to wear a funny wig.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really good.
It's an improvement, actually. And then, yeah, Charlotte can be like the Guardian writer type. She can be from some like old, disgustingly rich British family, like not quite aristocrats, but extremely middle class.
I can see it.
That's the other thing of like, I mean, because there was that Cynthia Nixon article where she was talking about like the class issues and like how fucking like white and rich the show was. And I mean, I think like even with an actual translation, because of the whole like how different the class issues are in the UK, it would be wildly different. Like Trey would probably be like an actual duke or some shit.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
He would have a castle.
God, it would be like an actual fairy tale instead of just like the New York fairy tale of marrying a doctor. I guess that's the New York version of of a fairy tale, is marrying into a family where you got a doctor and an apartment in Manhattan.
And a fucking big apartment and all.
That's true. I mean, it's not a castle, but it's still a huge apartment, like, right in the center of Manhattan. So that's pretty nice.
I would prefer that than a castle. Castles are cold.
They're big. I don't like the idea of being in a place that's really big. Like, I got an apartment that's 1 bedroom, and I already have a hard time keeping it clean, so...
Exactly. Oh, you would have maids.
Oh, true. That's true.
So yeah, I would actually be really interested in a British Sex and the City. So again, donate to our Patreon and I'll write it.
Well, Oceans 4 will take place in London. That's perfect. I think that's what'll happen. Yeah, perfect. I love it.
And then yeah, one of them can be like a legit prince or a duke or some shit, and then you scam the entire monarchy out of all their money.
I love it. Wow, this is going to be a fucking good movie. We're going to make so much money. It's good.
And then redistribute the wealth.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Perfect.
I guess like should we save the other questions for next week? Or should we...
Nah, let's save it for next week. Let's have a little fun. Let's leave them hanging.
Let's leave them hanging. Yeah, we'll save those questions for next week. And we can talk some more about the us getting money thing.
Seagulls make money.
The money, please.
If you guys have been following us on social media, then maybe you've noticed, or maybe you're already one of our donors, because we've launched a Patreon. Finally.
We sure have. So we have a Patreon, and it's, patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo. It's super easy to find. I guess we can tell you about what you get if you donate, because we got 3 tiers. We got the $1 tier. So at the $1 tier, you become a certified hay mower. So at that tier, so you get a special role in our Discord. We also launched our Discord. So if you want a link to our Discord, you can join it. It's on our Twitter, it's on our Tumblr, and it's also on our Patreon page. So you can find it. So if you're a hay mower, you get a special role in our Discord, and it gives you access to pretty much any bonus content we put out. So do you want to tell them about our special mailbag content that will be coming?
Yeah. So this will be coming by the end of the month. The first one will be the May edition. Lots of alliteration, but it's going to be the mummy mailbag with who else but my mother. And listen, it's going to be great. Send us in questions. You can ask for advice. If you need a bit of maternal loving, a bit of, you just need someone to tell you to do the right thing, whatever. She's there. She's there to be a surrogate mother, just be a cool old lady who's giving advice or telling you weird stuff that maybe she got up to when she was a young woman. I don't know. Whatever you want to ask, just ask away. And, if my mother hates me by the end of it, then we've achieved something.
And yeah, basically just tell us that the questions are for the mailbag when you send them in. And that way we don't answer them on the regular podcast.
Yeah.
Like fools.
Like fucking idiots, like the children we are. But yeah, just make it clear that it's for them. And if you send anything to our Gmail, then message us somewhere and just let us know, because we don't check it very often.
True. You can also like leave comments on the Patreon page if you want, but otherwise, we got our Tumblr and Twitter, and there's Discord. There's lots of places you can send us stuff. Yeah. So that's exciting. There's also a secret channel in our Discord server where there's exclusive pictures of Looker. So if you're a $1 donor or higher, you get to see those secret pictures of Looker that no one else gets to see. And one of our patrons, Jordan, has already said, this is worth the $1 alone. So...
I will say, I think me being just a host of the podcast is worth seeing exclusive looker pics, he's gorgeous.
He's a beautiful baby boy, and I love him, and everyone should love him because he's perfect. So, yep, donate, and you can see those. So that's the $1 level. The $5 level is our cardboard cutout of a baby tier. And so, okay, so if you're a $5 donor, you get everything from the $1 tier. You also get an even specialer role in the Discord server. And we're going to shout you out on the podcast every week. And you can submit stuff for me to read in Steve voice. So if you do that, you can maybe send it to our Tumblr or Twitter or DM me on Discord or something. Just let me know it's for Steve voice. Yes. And maybe we can do like one a week, depending on how many people send them in. But that sounds good. So I guess we can shout out all the $5 donors right now. So I got the Patreon open. We got our $5 donor list, our cardboard cutouts of babies. We've got Jess Ayalachi. We've got Mogu. We've got Summergeist. We've got PR the Disaster and Siberian Pine Hardwood. So thank you to these 5 people who are already saying we love you enough to give you $5. Putting that looker right into Looker's pocket. And us, too, who make the podcast.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are eternally grateful. We're both kind of shocked by, we've had this open for 24 hours. And we're already halfway to our first stretch goal. But I guess before we get to that, we should tell them about the $10 tier.
So there's the $10 tier. If you're $10, you're Mr. Big Spender. If you give us $10, then you get all those other rewards. Plus, you get an even specialer Discord role. Plus, if you want, you can listen to us record the podcast live every week, uncut, just like how we like it. And you might catch some fun stuff that gets cut from the podcast. We've got some good chats, so it's gonna be exciting if you want to listen in, maybe. So those are our tiers, and then like Alex said, we've got a stretch goal. So our stretch goal is for if we get to $50 a month. Right now we're at $28 a month, and it's been 24 hours, so that's pretty cool. Thank you, everyone who's donating. If we get to $50 a month, then we're going to launch our monthly bonus content, which would be our Keanu Reeves podcast.
Keanu cast, baby. As I was saying earlier, you'll get to hear all my theories, and I have theories, and I need to talk about them. I need to just talk about Keanu. We need to get into it. We're talking My Own Private Idaho. We're talking that Shakespeare one he did with Denzel Washington, where he's really hot.
He's hot in all of them.
The Matrix. We're talking The Lake House.
We're talking about John Wick and Constantine and fucking Bill and Ted.
Point Break.
He's been in so much. We're gonna bring the Keanu-verse to your listening steps, to your ear steps, and and it's gonna be really good. So if we get to that point, look forward to 2 bonus contents per month, because we would have the mailbag and a Keanu. Yeah. So, so thank you to everyone who's donated so far. So again, if you want to donate, patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo. And our Discord link is on there. I'm so excited. There's already 30, wait, how many people are in the Discord now? There's almost 40 people in the Discord. A few of them are bots, but still. It's good. It's a fun time. So
yeah, we absolutely love all of you, and we're really grateful that you support it, whether you donate money or not. We're just happy that you guys are listening and enjoying the show. Yeah, truly. Thank you, everybody. And I guess like we were saying, if you want to find us anywhere, then we are City Girls Make Do on Gmail, on Tumblr, on Twitter, and now on Patreon. Hell yeah. And you can find me at Age of Oddish on Twitter and on Tumblr at Winterfell Island. Also, I almost forgot about this. I guested on possibly my favorite podcast this week, The Island Shuffle, which is our Noise Space Brother podcast. Brother or sister podcast? I don't know. Whatever it is. It is one of our fellow Noise Space podcasts. The Island Shuffle is a podcast where there's 2 hosts, Bean and James, and what they do every week is they watch Lost, but they watch it completely out of order. So they basically use a random number generator to
generate a random episode of Lost to watch every single week. So it's a lot of fun. The show is absolutely ridiculous. I love that podcast. It's really good. And since it's a random episode podcast, you can pretty much listen to any episode without having listened to any of the earlier episodes. So listen to my episode. It's really good. It'll be out by the time this podcast is out. The one that I was on was for the season 2 episode. That is the Rose and Bernard episode. So it was actually a good episode of Lost. So I think you should listen to it if you like the show Lost, or me.
I'm excited. I'm just going to listen to... listen, I think I remember watching like the first series when it came out, and I don't remember anything apart from like there was a polar bear.
There was a polar bear.
And Daniel Day-Kim was in it, and he's gorgeous. So
he is. Yeah.
But
I'm a slut for Lost. I love Lost. So it was my dream to guest on the Island Shuffle, which is a very good Noise Space friend of the show podcast. So
yeah, check it out. Check out all our friends on Noise Space. Definitely check out the episode with Stephanie and the Island Shuffle in general. And if you want to find me, then I'm at Dork Phoenix on Tumblr. I'm at Dork Phoenix 69 on Twitter. I have been thinking about changing my name though and going legit, but we'll see. We'll see if I decide to do that.
Hell yeah.
Probably not.
Stay tuned.
Cliffhanger.
But thank you so much for listening. Next week we're back with another guest, so it's gonna be fucking awesome. Just like Big said.
I hope we're not like Punch Up the Jam and everyone secretly hates when you have guests on. I'm sure they don't.
The thing is, our friends are really good, and our friends don't make bad jokes. So
we love our friends and we love our next guest. So I'm very excited to have them on.
Mm-hmm, me too. Thank you for listening, folks, and see you next week. And mohe every day.
Bye.
Bye.